Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You feel it? Can you feel it? Doom, doom.
What? Huh? Are we going DX? Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I just kind of felt like it
Sound like Are You Ready?
It felt right. It felt right. And welcome, everybody, to episode 21, the Arena of Audacity podcast. I am the fat fella himself, Matt Jones.
21.
21.
So are we hitting blackjack?
No, this episode can legally drink. That is the name of the episode.
Is this the Kevin Garnett of episodes?
The Kevin Garnett?
The Jimmy Butlers?
Oh, man. Keep it going. Who else is 21?
I can't remember now.
No? All right, that's fair. One under
Matt Forte?
Emmett Smith?
Matt Forte?
Matt Forte?
Yeah. Emmett Smith can
Russian beater.
Suck my testicles.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
He played 3 extra years so he can beat Walter Payton's record. What a dick.
Already starting off great.
What a dick.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he didn't put his body on the line,
Don't
though,
care.
to get those yards.
You left your team you've been with for almost a decade just so you can go beat a record and go to a team that's shitty? You went to Arizona for all teams.
I mean, how many yards did he have to get, though? How close was he?
Doesn't matter.
Was it just posthumous at that point?
It took him 3 years to do it, so.
I mean, I got nothing. I mean, other than being a cowboy, I got nothing against. Officially adult enough for some of those topics now. Yes.
Woo!
Yes, this episode is now old enough to be in the room for some of these conversations.
Yes.
Including Emmett Smith.
Ugh.
Oh, man. I was thinking maybe we can do this a little bit later. I didn't actually write anything down, but I was thinking about it earlier of maybe like creating a segment of like either a this or that.
Oh, okay.
Or would you not?
Okay.
I'm gonna try it out.
Oh,
just
God,
off the top of my head.
Here we go.
And if it works, if it lands,
it's gonna fall flat.
Chat, you can give us some stuff as well.
About Emmett Smith.
No, I mean maybe now. All right, but shit, what's up, man? How you been?
Well, just another day in paradise out here. The fires are calming down a little bit, so that's good.
Nice. It's hot as fuck outside.
Yeah, it's hot as balls. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so hot yesterday that my AC was struggling again. I thought it was broken. I wanted to like punch a wall. Like I was pissed. We keep the house at 74 during the day.
Yeah.
And then at like 3:30, the upstairs drops to 70. At like 5 p.m., it was still 72. I was like, the last time this happened, my AC went out.
Well, I would go out too if you kept me at 74. Cause
I just got.
Huh? You getting DDoS? What's going on?
No, I just got a text.
Oh.
She doesn't want to put it in the chat because she doesn't want to call me out, but I'll call myself out. And Janelle was like, oh, so you came up with the idea for this or that.
Oh, damn. Hit him with both barrels. Yeah. So it was your wife who came up with this idea.
It was. Well, my wife and Keek.
Well, let's give credit where credit is due.
Yes. Thank you both. You know how terrible my memory is, but it's okay because you know how good of an idea that is because I was basically inceptioned.
Oh. Or
I thought it was my idea.
You thought it was
so good. It was so good. I was just like, oh man, because we talked about it. I do now remember the conversation. We talked about it last week. And she said she was going to come up with some stuff.
Okay.
And I liked the idea. I liked it so much that it stuck in my head.
Gotcha.
Yes. I didn't intentionally do that. Please don't drop from the live stream.
Oh man, I feel the knife coming.
Comment to let me know you're still here. Comment to let me know you still love me.
Oh my God. Anyways.
Yes. But yeah, so we can we got stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of text messages though.
Oh.
Are we going to be talking about this Apple fiasco?
I mean, you know what? fuck it, let's dive into it. As people roll in, anyone who has been with us in the beginnings is starting to notice that our serious topics come out in the beginning. So yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Because we got into a decent little heated exchange a few weeks ago when this was first announced.
I mean, was it heated? You were just trying to throw haymakers for no reason.
I wasn't trying to throw haymakers. And also, why do you got to be bitter, babe? Bitter party of Chanel. Oh, I gave you credit. Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to throw haymakers. I get defensive because Android people like to walk around with their noses in the air at us Apple people.
Not even close.
And
other way around.
It's constant. It's
other way around.
Working at the Death Star, it was constant. It was like people would come in and it would be like they're, they have Android phones and they know that we don't sell Android phones. They know that we sell Apple products, and they would come in with their Android phone and be like, well, can you do this? Well, can you do this? Well, can you do this? And suddenly the phone stops working, and then they shut up and walk away, and you're just like, yeah, but I can do this with my phone all day long, and it doesn't lock on me because I don't have apps that are malicious. But unfortunately, Apple is trying to go a malicious route, and I will backpedal a little bit from a conversation that our viewers know nothing about. Yeah, so what we're talking about is Apple. A few weeks ago, month ago,
probably about a month ago,
they announced that they were going to enact a new program where they were going to manually check and verify that pictures on people's phones didn't violate any laws.
Yeah, well,
specifically child pornography.
Not on their phone per se. I think it had to upload to the cloud.
Oh, okay.
Is what the criteria was. You can physically have the photo on your phone, but once it goes to the cloud, then it's fair game for their algorithm to catch it, and then somebody to then look at your stuff.
So I didn't realize that. The original article that I had read, and then this was a few hours after the news had broke. Yeah. The articles I was reading were basically saying if it's on your phone, they could look at it. The cloud makes sense, though. Yeah. Which, if anyone has an iPhone, you'll know your cloud storage is little to none. So all you have to do is run that motherfucker for about 4 weeks, and you don't have storage left because you're constantly getting that notification.
Jesus Christ.
Now, if you use your phone...
But if you have Apple Care... if you got that Apple Care with your phone... If you didn't know that you got it with your phone.
Oh, man. Or if you're paying $4.99 for 5 terabytes of storage on the cloud because you want your YouTube videos to be backed up somewhere, all your videos are now being looked at, potentially. But no, not anymore. They backpedaled. As a current Apple person married to a super aggressive Apple person,
Thank you,
I think we might be a tad more assertive with our loyalty. She's not going to hold back tonight. Normally she's got my back, sort of, in these situations. She's not going to today.
Yeah, so the full context of this is Apple was putting together a policy to basically try to, I don't want to say covertly, but look into trying to stop child pornography. I guess the best way that they tried to frame
human trafficking.
In human trafficking.
Yeah.
Basically saying that if their algorithm caught a certain criteria, being either a young child in a photo that basically would raise your red flag. Like if it's just a young child in the photo, probably like maybe a birthday celebration, you took a picture of a kid or something, that could have probably flagged the algorithm for them to go and take a look at it.
Yeah. But if you got a naked baby on there, it could be your baby, but there's no guarantee that you're not going to get flagged.
Exactly. So those kind of things, basically, when I saw that, it red flagged me. I was just like, wow, it's kind of scary. Like, you can be literally sitting there taking photos. I could be doing what I'm doing as a dad, taking photos of my son. I could be flagged in the algorithm because I'm taking photos of my son because I don't like to take photos myself, so I'm not going to jump in the photo and be like, hey, let's take a selfie. No, I'm going to take a photo of him and take a video of him, do whatever. And if I need to post it online, I will.
Now, you brought up a situation that one of the issues that could arise from this, if somebody gets a hold of your phone and takes a picture of something that they know is going to get flagged.
Yes.
That they know is going to get you negative attention.
Yes.
You can't prove that wasn't you.
Yes.
Now, one way you could prove it wasn't you is what I like to call the Blue Mountain State method. All right? My face is in every photo I take. If I'm taking a picture, this ugly mug is in it.
True.
That could also screw you because
That could.
you are taking something and it's just like, this isn't correct.
Yeah.
I can't ever say, well, someone got a mask of me.
Yeah. Now, my other thing on that aspect of it is, okay, let's say somebody does do that. And let's say, well, okay, well, Apple's going to go, okay, well, we have a way to prevent that. What we'll do is that we're going to take a shadow picture off of your front-facing camera when photos like that are taken that don't go on your phone, but go into a back server cloud that then we can go ahead and line up the dates and times with to see if it was you.
See,
that's where it goes into a whole nother avenue of just privacy violation.
Yeah, because I don't have that face unlock. I don't have biometric scanning. I don't have any of that on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't have my credit cards on my phone. I don't have...
Yeah.
I turn off iMessaging. Matt is the one true fan of the selfie. If anyone has seen my Instagram, you'll know the rule. Every photo has to be a selfie.
Jesus.
But I don't have any of that. I don't, like I said, iMessaging, the face recognition, the bioscanning, nothing. I have nothing in my phone. I turn all of that shit off. So to think that there is a potential that, yes, once you unlock, it's going to take a picture of what's in front of you, and then that's going to go into a server, you can go fuck yourself.
So there's a lot of, there's too much in the world that has to deal with programming and tech that they need to do or not do to make this work the way that they want it to work. It's a great idea. It lives so much in that gray area, and then so much of it lives in that area where it was super red flagged, that I can't see them just pushing something like this out so quickly. They need to have folks who are willing to participate in some sort of a trial substance of this.
Yeah, it'd have to be
and it's got to be like, you can't do it for like a week. It needs to be like a 6-month program, so they can be able to try to do test cases, scenarios, try to figure this out, because there's no way that you can put this out to the masses. Like, let's be real. iPhone is possibly still, I think it is still the number one phone in the world, right?
No, actually, I think it has been surpassed by Android, but it's just simply because of the fact of how many countries only have Android and how many different types of Android phones there are.
True. So you can't take a platform that big and push something like that out to that many people and then go, well, it'll work.
No, they tried that with, what was it, iOS like 11 or something like that. It fucked everybody up.
Yeah.
Can't do that. But they're gonna.
Yeah.
And that's that is one of the problems. Like, normally if iPhone's gonna push something, or if Apple's gonna push something out, I'm normally gonna be like, fuck it, I'm gonna take this, we're gonna run with it, we're gonna go. I think there's iOS 15 coming out soon. I got a notification on my phone. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I guess we're updating to it. But I guess there's some European countries that got involved. And actually contacted Apple to say, like, hey, we don't think this is a good idea. Like, you need to run this by us, and you need to let us take a look at this, and we can help you with it, because it's obviously a huge issue. Like, that's the problem, is that you have these, like, very altruistic outcomes you're looking for, but you're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And, like, yes, child pornography is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Human trafficking is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Looking at everyone's photos that they take may not be the route to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because also, like, I don't know what kids are into these days. I look at my nephew's Instagram, and who the fuck knows what's going on in his head? Like, God forbid he takes a picture of one of his friends pretending to have their hands tied behind their back, and suddenly he gets fucking flagged.
Yeah. Well, let's put it to you this way, too. And I hate to say it, because, you know, in the world of Hollywood, I guess. But let's be realistic. How many people who are doing those kind of things are getting an iPhone for a burner phone and doing that? Like,
I actually would think a lot, because right now, if we're talking Hollywood, there's a lot of people that are taking horse dewormer to fight against a pandemic.
Yeah, true, but I feel like that if you're not in the, I don't want to say, if you're in the underground world of what have you, child pornography, sex trafficking, what have you, I don't feel like that your number one phone you're taking out there on the streets is an iPhone. I don't feel like that. I feel like your number one phone you're taking out there is maybe a Samsung A117 or something.
Flip phone or something you can crack and throw away.
Something that is a $50 or an $80 phone that, hey, I just picked this up real quick. You know, I didn't have to show my ID. I just bought it at Walmart type deal. Like, I don't feel like that you're going in and going out and grabbing an iPhone and say, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to use this for both personal and my shady business.
Yeah, you're grabbing a Vodafone that may have text messaging.
Like, so I mean, and of course, there's those people who are just stupid and they do dumb things as criminals, and that's how they get caught, because they're like, oh, well, I mean, I didn't think about using a second phone.
Well, that's the thing is that, like, I think I would assume that the people that are deep in it, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
I think they're hoping to. It's like the I've seen way too much TLC back when it was like nothing but like SWAT teams.
Yeah.
The easy thing is you get the street guy. You get the idiot who, well, not necessarily the idiot, but you just get the guy that doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
And then you get the next guy. And then you use that guy to get the next guy. And then you get the next guy. And then eventually you have a RICO case against the entire fucking organization. And then you're, not hearing about the trips of the, U.S. Marshals going to the Philippines to, grab, Jim, the golf course manager who's in the Philippines or in Thailand because, they love the atmosphere.
So, I mean, I guess another thing now that people know about this is that, okay, so now I'm, Ted Bundy or, Buffalo Bob, and I heard, hey, Apple's bringing out this platform. Maybe I shouldn't be using an iPhone anymore type deal.
Well, which is going to be funny because that is, in the world of analytics, you look at that and you have to question yourself, like, is causation, is this a causation situation? Like, iPhone sales go down. It's like, were there more pedophiles using iPhones than we thought? Right. iPhone, Apple stock fucking plummets, and all of a sudden, just like, apparently pedophiles were a huge selling point for us. All kinds of megapixels on those phones. Apparently, they're really clear.
The security.
That is one thing that was confusing when the news came out, because we're also talking about a company that 5 years ago told the LAPD to go fucking kick rocks.
Yeah.
When they were like, we have two a husband and wife, active shooters, terrorist event. They had religious reasons for this. Like, everything falls under the blanketness of terrorist activities.
Yeah.
And they're like, they used iPhones. We need to see what happened. And Tim Cook stood up and was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they're terrible people, and you should prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. We're not giving you their information. And it was a weird sort of like, yay for private rights. But it's like, but now it's like, we're going to have a human go through and look through all of your photos.
Well, okay. So, and I don't know if this system exists still or not. And maybe it was just on specific platforms. But there is a system that, the cell phone providers have that they can go back and look at deleted voicemails, deleted text messages, call history, everything. It's just, in order for a person of the law to get it, it needs to be subpoenaed. Correct.
And
so
we both know that because we've both had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were in that position.
So they can go, hey, we're not going to unlock these phones and whatnot, but they can still go get that information.
They could. They just have to go through the proper legal channels.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's that. I mean, it is, as Reddit would say, a boring dystopia.
Whew. Well, we're getting into the nitty gritty now, huh?
Nitty gritty. It is a boring dystopia. I mean, did you hear that apparently there's a shortage on paper or toilet paper again?
Again?
Yep. Delta variant, man.
Well, my house stays stocked, so I don't know.
I'm going to keep this on in the background. For those who can't see because you're not in the room with us, we have AEW on the background.
Just all the proprietary nonsense and things make me feel like it would be harder to jailbreak into something these larger organizations will gravitate towards. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anybody actually getting into it and grabbing the information, because that would be the other issue, is that if you have all of this private information but you already have the pictures in the iCloud to begin with.
Yeah. So it would just be the fact of, like, somebody would still need to hack into your iCloud.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, unless your password is something silly, it's probably not going to really happen too hard or too much. But, I mean,
download a racing app and want to spend the $5.99 on the beginner's packet, and then suddenly 2 weeks later your shit's on the fucking internet. Yeah.
Now, I can say that people who don't use their Apple login a lot, like myself, I always get those random emails of, hey, you need to reset your password. Your password's been reset. You need to reset your password. And I never click on them. I'm like, nah. Mm-hmm. First off, I know for a fact that I didn't reset this password because I don't use that account. Mm-hmm. And second off, if somebody did reset it, great for them, because it has no information for me on there.
Yeah. So my old Gmail account, my first Gmail account ever, mm-hmm. I had that thing. I got it in 2000. This is back when you had to be invited. I got it back in 2005. Mm-hmm. And in 2016, somebody got into it and just took it over. And got into my iPhone, my iTunes account, got into my Apple account, got into all that shit. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they also got into my very first Instagram, which has one picture on it.
Oh, Jesus.
And
is it a selfie?
It is.
Oh my God.
It is.
Oh God.
I was doing acting work for Steve, and I had to get bloodied. Jessica punched me with a lock, and it fucked me up. When in reality, it would have broken her finger. But regardless, it has one picture. It has like 6 people that follow it. It's never posted anything else. I don't know what the fuck it's doing, but every once in a while I get ballsy and go into that email account just to see what's going on. Yeah. And it'll constantly have these things from Instagram. Being like, there's a new login from South Africa. There's a new login from Belgrade. There's a new login from Moscow. There's a new login from China. And I'm just like, fuck. Good on you, bro.
Yeah. Yes. So, in the segue into that, I don't want to just segue off of China like that, though, but I'm going to, because you said it. China, MCU. We finally got a Chinese heritage superhero.
Yes. Well, and not only that, but we got a Chinese heritage superhero that was actually played by an Asian actor that had a cast. And before I continue on, we do want to say this is your official spoiler warning.
Oh shit, we got a sign now?
Yep, you've been warned. I no longer have to hold my hand up.
Wow.
It's not happening, folks. Worked on my car on Monday. My shoulder hurts. The official spoiler warning. This is I brought this up with Kurt. Like right after the movie was done, I turned and he and Elaine and I started talking. And like one of the first things I said, I was like, it's kind of impressive. Like this was majority Asian cast. Mm-hmm. And it was like even the extras.
Yeah.
Like there's scenes in bars when you're looking around, you're just like, oh shit. Like they didn't just go out and be like, hey, random white folk come into this neighborhood.
No. And they used actual locations in the real world where if you went there, it would be a majority Asian population. So,
and we talked about this a little bit. Kevin Feige came out and apologized for Tilda Swinton and said he was going to do a better job. And we asked ourselves, what does that look like?
Yeah,
this is what it looks like.
Yeah. Now I can say that the dad, and I didn't know this because I was like, I thought he looked familiar, but I was like, I've never seen him in movies. He is apparently one of China's biggest movie stars.
He's like China's Robert De Niro.
Yeah. And this is his first movie in America.
It's his first movie as a villain, too.
Wow.
This is the first role. He actually, so I read the IMDb on it. He originally turned it down. Because he was like, I don't want that to hurt, like, people's opinions of me.
Yeah.
And then he got convinced, like, no, you're going to be taken care of. And he liked the script, and he liked the actors, he liked what was going on, so he was like, all right, you know what, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And they flushed him out, though. Like, yes, he's the villain.
Yeah.
But is he really a villain?
Yeah.
Like, he's a dick.
No, in the way that they made it so that, you know, he's doing it because he thinks his wife is captured. He's hearing the voices of the shadow demons behind the door telling him, "Oh, hey, I'm behind here. You need to let me out."
Using her voice.
Yeah.
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 So I can see that in terms of how that's not villain-esque, but the way that he was trying to build himself back up because he let his guard down.
Yeah.
And his wife got killed. So he was like, okay, well, hey, sorry, I'm going back to my old ways, and I'm bringing my kids with me. So without there, nope. Yeah, you're 8. Cool. Go punch this freaking wood beam.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're my daughter?
Yeah.
No, go sit in your room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're not going to.
Which even then, it was never really talked about. But I mean, you could conceivably say that he treated his daughter the way he did with the indifference because he never wanted to put her in the same situation his wife was in. He so desperately didn't want to lose his daughter that he ended up losing his daughter.
Yeah.
So it was his every character. I'm not going to say every character. Most of the characters in this movie were pretty deep. And that is something that Marvel is doing really well. Nobody comes into the MCU without a backstory.
Yeah. And even though so it was just one movie, but we didn't have to have, it wasn't an hour and a half of backstory filler. We're going to build you up to be able to learn how you're going to do, you know, your martial arts and everything like that. No, it was
montage.
It was montage.
Do it in a montage.
Flashbacks, and then the first fight scene when it happened, I didn't think it was gonna be that epic. Like on the bus scene.
Oh yeah.
When he was like, she was like, "Oh, you can't fight." He balled his fist up and just started going to work. I was like, all right, cool. This
was, and I won't say his name on this, but we have a friend. And he put on Facebook that this was not a good Marvel movie, but a good action movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I would disagree.
Yeah.
This to me is, and I say this using the context of music, every great band that has been able to last 20 years, it reinvents itself. I'm going to use Papa Roach as the example because every album is different from the last. It may not be hella different, but it's different.
Yeah.
And this feels like them saying, okay, this new phase is different.
Yeah.
It's the same MCU, but we're going to go about this different because one of the things that I really, really enjoyed, that fight scene was cool. Because it wasn't like, oh shit, suddenly I'm powerful. It was just like, no, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah. I just don't want to do this.
Yeah.
There was something that they did, and this was, I don't know if this was a director's decision or someone with the producers. I don't know if Feige decided to do it or whoever they had editing. There was, you don't see it a lot, and especially in MCU, because the MCU movies have this like MTV early 2000s music video. Every split second something has to be happening.
Yeah.
They gave silence and non-action a role in this movie. There were times where it was just something heavy happened. And we just let the room sit in silence.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was impressive. And I'm like, it drew me in because normally in a Marvel movie, if something dramatic happens, you have to have the swell of the orchestra, you have to have the camera pans, you have to do everything. But how many times was it just something happens and you're looking at, I'm going to use his Americanized name just because I'm going to fuck up his Chinese name. That it was just the camera just looked at Sean. Mm. Yeah. And you just soak in the emotion of the moment.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. That caught me off guard, and I didn't really notice what was going on until the end when it was the big battle was happening, and Sean's floating down in the water, and the bubbles start coming.
Yeah.
And all you hear is little muffled noises and bubbles.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck me. I'm getting chills now. I'm like, fuck, that was intense.
Yeah.
No, it was from the casting to the script, to the production, to the editing. Everything was fantastic in this movie.
Yeah. No, most definitely, and I'm gonna backtrack a little bit back to Dad here, because even the point where he was, you know, how you were saying that he lost his daughter, he didn't lose anybody. He even said it to them in the parking structure or the building. He was like, "Nah, I knew where you were this whole time." And then when they got back to the compound, he's like, "Look, I let you live 10 years or 15 years of your life. This is what you did with it. Now it's time to come back home. Let's get back to work."
And that's you're correct. I totally forgot about that speech.
Yeah, he basically said, "I knew who you were. I let you live your life. This is what you wanted to do.
Yep.
You didn't do anything. Now you're coming back.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing."
Now we're getting the 10 rings up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the whole thing. And I know you hate this part, but I got to bring it up because this is something that we very much differ on.
Okay.
I really, really liked the inclusion and the explanation behind the Mandarin character.
Oh, God dang it.
Ben Kingsley, Sir Ben Kingsley, one of the few people I'll actually add this Sir in front of. Although I shouldn't, because he's, I don't know. Some people say he's a dick. I don't know. Ben Kingsley. Now, for those that don't remember, Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3 was the Mandarin character. The Mandarin had 10 rings, a ring on each one of his fingers. And he was a terrorist. And he was putting out these like very NWO-esque videos. And then it comes to find out that he's just an actor who is acting on behalf of an actual terrorist organization. And his name is the Mandarin. And everyone's freaking out. I know you got super excited because you knew the lore from the comic books, but they didn't go that direction. They found out he was a fake. Well, not even necessarily that he was a fake, because at that point, we just assumed that was the Mandarin.
Yeah.
That was all they were going to do with the 10 rings.
Yeah.
And now you get Sean's dad. And I can't remember his name right now. You get Sean's dad, who explains that Western society is so afraid of him, or was so afraid of our culture, that they have to assign a name. And while he's trying to explain to them, what's your Chinese name? This is why you should be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
Because words have meaning.
Yeah.
And that they named this terrorist after him.
After a fruit.
After food.
Yeah.
After spicy chicken.
Yeah.
That's what he said. It was after spicy chicken. The Mandarin.
Yeah.
And I like that whole explanation.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And I liked I didn't like the inclusion of the Mandarin character in Iron Man 3, but it made sense at the time.
Okay. So I'm going to go into 2 points here.
All right.
Point 1, in terms of Ben Kingsley and his Iron Man portrayal and his Mandarin role, I did not like, as you said, just because of the fact of the way that they did. Okay, first off, when they did the trailer and you saw it, and at first it was just, the rings being shown on the screen, and you're like, oh shit, Iron Man, you see the rings, you know it's the Mandarin at that point. And then it ends up being Ben Kingsley, and you're like, God damn it, Ben, you did it again. you played another goddamn race again, Ben. Here we go. So I was already jumping off on that. I was like, God damn it, Ben Kingsley.
And this is pre when it was it was an issue, but it wasn't like an open issue amongst the regular crowds, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So then, so then you get to the movie, you watch the movie, you see the movie unfold, and then you see that this isn't really the Mandarin.
No.
And you're like, oh, what are we doing here, MCU? Is this a Sony movie? Why are we playing around with Iron Man's biggest villain? Like, you don't go and do that as the MCU. But once again, Feige and all his wisdom and the Church of Marvel,
He brought it back, man.
they do things years in advance for stuff. So he did. I do appreciate the way that they turned it around. I felt like that Ben Kingsley was in this movie too much. They could have just had him in that scene, introduced the creature character, and that could have been it. I would have been fine. Yeah, I would have been fine on that. He didn't need to go through the portal with everybody. He didn't even need to get in the car.
Well, it makes sense to me because he was the only one that could understand Maurice.
Okay.
So, I mean, as the translator, and he was, it to me made sense why he's included, because prior to them entering into the other world that I can't remember the name of, Aquafina was the comic relief.
Yes, and she did a marvelous job at it.
She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But when they went to the new land, and the old woman gives her the if you don't aim at anything, you'll never hit anything. Her character arc flipped. She's still funny. She's got quips for days.
Yeah.
And she can keep up. But she's now finding herself as a warrior.
Now let's hold on that point, because my second point about the Mandarin is that I still feel like that they're not doing the 10 Rings the justice. Because yes, we have the new 10 Rings for the MCU, but the 10 Rings are supposed to have all different powers. That's what gives the Mandarin his power and being able to be one of the toughest villains for Iron Man.
Okay.
It isn't just a sonic pulse or whatever they were doing or what have you in that movie. Each ring gave a different power. So it was kind of like a mini version of an Infinity Stone, per se.
See, and I always confused the rings with the Infinity Stones. I thought they were one and the same. No. I thought the gauntlet actually had the rings on it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't... And maybe that was a sub-storyline of somebody getting the Infinity Gauntlet and also getting the rings, because I have it in my head of a drawing of the glove with the rings on it.
Gotcha.
I don't... Maybe... But, I mean, I think they may have touched on that, though, in the mid-credit scene. When they're talking about how every ring has something different on it. It's all made from different materials. It's way older than anyone thinks.
Yeah.
And also when Wong did the expansion on it, and he's saying they're all built differently.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just Sean's dad couldn't unlock the true power. And maybe that's Sean's story arc, is he finds a way to open them. Maybe that gets him into the Doctor Strange universe. That brings him with Wanda, and it brings him with everybody else, and brings everyone together.
Well, that, and I don't know. The only person I could think of that it's calling out to is maybe MODOK. But that's...
And MODOK has his own Hulu series. It's not great.
I don't want to talk about that either, because that looked like trash when I saw it. I was like, MODOK is not somebody who has a family. Anyways, I digress.
It's somebody who has sat down and watched most of the first season. It's not good. I really wish they hadn't done that.
But back with the Aquafina part.
Yeah.
Yes, I do like... Well, first, I like the way that they put her character in, gave her more of the comedy side of it, but then also told a love story without telling a love story. Like,
yeah,
they made it so that, you know, it wasn't like, oh, hey, I've always been like into you type thing, but, you know, we never said anything. And that was on both of their sides. You can see it on both of their sides in terms of like, oh, he was in trouble, she was getting concerned, like she got pushed and he got super angry and started to fight. And then at the end,
just a small town girl.
You know, then at the end where we had the stupid emo moment where she was like, "Oh, hey, we've been looking for you," and then he was like, "Oh no." So I don't.
You had to have something. It is one, as the kids would say, shipping that I'm not angry at, and I do think they went about it pretty well because it was like it's one of those like everybody in the room sees it, but they don't want to see it because their relationship as it was fine the way it was.
And the only person that ever called it out was Grandma,
which was hilarious.
Yeah, so that was the only person to call it out, and then he was just like, "Oh, we're just friends." It's like, nah.
I love the dynamic in that. So, and it's just it's the little things. When you have a good movie and you think back on it, there's all the little things that you start to catch up on. And the breakfast scene when Sean sits down and starts eating.
Yeah.
And what was her name in the movie?
Oh, Jesus.
Kate?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so when her brother's sitting there and he's like, well, why does Sean always have to come over and eat our food?
Yeah.
And then the mom's giving the son crap about why are you not helping out at the store? And he's like, and all this kind of stuff. And then Katie sits down and she starts eating her food. And then she's like, fuck it, we gotta go. She just leaves all of her shit on the table. And Sean like stands up and starts cleaning up after her.
Yeah.
Like it was so subtle. And all I'm like in the back of my head, I'm just like, no, obviously they're perfect for each other because they offset each other.
Yeah.
Like, no.
They did a good job about not just feeding another love story in there just for the sake of it. You know, the way that they did it, the subtlety of it was a good fold in.
It wasn't crowbarred in.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I don't know, man. There's really not much about the movie that I didn't thoroughly enjoy. I missed the first few minutes, which apparently I didn't miss much.
No, you just missed nothing really,
Yeah. Kurt and Elaine were like, no, you like missed little to nothing.
No.
Because I got popcorn. Which, by the way, fucking popcorn fucked me up, man.
I could have told you that.
Well, like, at what age are you not able to just...
To have super oily, buttery popcorn?
Yeah, a large popcorn and a large Coke. After only having a chicken sandwich all day long.
Should be at the age of 20.
When do we lose that ability? This is no longer spoiler territory. This is maybe TMI territory. That's fucked up, man. Like, when did my stomach betray me?
When you ate that gray steak off of the Denny's table.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
The gray steak with the sourdough off of the Denny's table. That's when your stomach was like, you know what, bro, I'm out.
No. Because I distinctly remember, we're going to take the spoiler warning off right now.
Are we not going back to...
I don't know why I wouldn't. I'll keep the spoiler warning up.
Right,
but it's... No, because I distinctly remember, because I worked for an oil company, going and eating wings 3 times a week because I had a coworker who really enjoyed Hooters. What's up, George? You're probably never going to see this. What's up, man? And we'd go eat wings.
Yeah.
And Gojo can only get so much diesel off of your hands and out of your pores. We're eating basically fuel with my teriyaki wings.
Okay.
Which I miss Hooters wings. Let's just talk about that for a second.
Because I've been to Hooters like once, maybe twice.
They were steamed, then fried. So you could just push the bones out of them and then eat them like chicken nuggets.
Well, if you get extra well-done wings, you can do that any place.
Who gets extra well-done wings?
People who like crispy wings.
Yeah, but then you dry the meat.
No, you don't. It's dark meat. You can't dry out dark meat.
No, that's the wings. Wings are white meat.
Huh?
When you get wings are white meat. That's part of the breast. That's part of the upper portion. Dark meat comes from the legs and thighs.
It's chicken wings. You can't dry them out.
You've clearly never had dry chicken wings then.
Clearly.
I've had many dry chicken wings.
You've had dry boneless chicken wings?
No. I've had dry chicken wings. When you bake them for a long ass time. Regardless, I feel like this is going to be another one of those chicken blow my mind type situations. Like, actually, no, this is when my stomach started to turn. This is another thing that Janelle can take credit for. She taught me the difference between real chicken and processed chicken. I didn't know there was a difference, so I never paid attention.
Like all your chicken nuggets are processed?
I knew. Okay, I didn't understand what processed was. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're going to Chili's a lot, and I'm getting chicken strips because the chicken strips are delicious.
Processed.
And she's like, those are processed.
Yeah.
L&L. Processed. Their chicken katsu, katsu is processed.
Yeah.
Their barbecue chicken, half the time was processed.
Yeah.
If they don't have real, because they fillet open their thighs. If they run out of that, they have processed chicken. And she taught me the difference. And then my stomach started fucking up on me.
Oh, kids, this has been your science lesson by the fat fella himself. Right. And we're going to go ahead and segue right on back.
I'm on a rant. Jesus I'm on a rant right now. It's good content. For the content. But okay.
So look.
Was there anything about the movie you didn't like?
That was it. In terms of the way that the 10 rings are still portrayed. They're still, in my opinion, still not fully flushed out 10 rings. I mean, first off, they're armbands still. So they're not, the 10 power rings.
The design is based off of actual rings that martial artists will wear.
That's great. That's not what the 10 rings are in the Marvel.
It's an aesthetic thing.
Anyways,
we have to differentiate from the Infinity Stones.
Yes, well, I mean, you could still differentiate because there's different colors in the goddamn crayon box. You could just make them different colors, just like you did the Infinity Stones in the MCU. They actually changed a couple of their powers to different ones.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyways.
The most I have with the Infinity Stones is Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, gosh. Anyways. So that was my biggest gripe. This Doctor Strange movie is going to be jam-packed. Yeah. In my opinion. I feel like now, unless they flush out other things in other movies beforehand, which I don't think they will, because all we have before is the Eternals and Spider-Man, which the Eternals could touch on the 10 rings, because one of them could have created it, but whatever. Anyways, in the MCU at least. But yeah, it's getting too full in my opinion. You got too much going on, and I feel like there's going to still be more going on with it.
Oh yeah,
because of what's happening in the multiverse. I mean, we talked about Kang, and he could just pop up anytime he wants to at this point.
Yep.
But then there's also, when they brought the Darkhold into it, that brings up a whole slew of other stuff in terms of the supernatural situations as well too. So that still, puts in the chance for Ghost Rider to pop up. That puts in a chance for, Blade won't because he has his own movie, but you never know, he might.
You never with the MCU. Because we've also got. How many other characters are we going to introduce in this phase? Up, we got She-Hulk. We've got
so there's
Blade.
So there's Blade, She-Hulk, Moon Knight.
The Eternals are technically new.
The Eternals. We're going back to Secret Invasion.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of moving parts in this phase, which makes sense though, because I feel like what you could do is if one movie doesn't neatly roll up into the rest, multiverse.
Oh no, nothing.
This is a different universe.
I don't think anything's going to neatly roll up right now. It's just going to be a lot of breadcrumbs being left.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of there's a lot of theory crafting now because you don't know what the hell's going to go on anymore.
No, and there's also apparently a something going around on Twitter right now. Reddit was talking about it that Twitter's trying to get a Wong standalone movie.
It won't happen.
You don't think so?
No, it won't happen.
That was interesting too. When all of a sudden he's fighting the Abomination, you're like, holy shit! So that exists.
Yeah. Well, so even though he didn't have any lines, it was the same actor from the other Hulk movie.
Yeah. To
do the Abomination again.
I read that.
Which was, I guess that keep bringing in everybody. I guess.
You got it.
I didn't like that they changed his look to the new look with the fish fins on the face. I didn't like that. But I guess
it's easier to digest.
Yeah.
It also is familiar.
It makes him look different than the Hulk because in that Hulk movie, he looked too similar to the Hulk.
Yeah.
Except for he had bones protruding. So,
see, and I would say that with the fish fins and the way that they have him set up, that he's similar enough to the Hulk that kids will look at that and immediately equate the two. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see Abomination and She-Hulk. But, so I will say this. I had one thing that I don't like.
Okay.
And there's not really much to do about it. They killed Death Dealer.
Killed Death Dealer.
The dude with the mask?
Oh, yeah.
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 And I didn't realize it. I don't know who this guy is. Mm-hmm. Read it on the IMDb. But the guy who played Death Dealer is actually a martial artist that's really well known on YouTube. Mm. He's a hell of a martial artist. And with a mask, you can bring him in for other roles because you just take the mask off, suddenly he's a different character.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see more of Death Dealer. That dude was, like, I was hoping there'd be a scene where they ripped his mask off, because you got to think that Sean's got this fucking decades worth of trauma from this guy.
Yeah.
He needs his comeuppance. Like, we saved the armless Romanian, but we killed the silent assassin. Yeah. And we killed him like a dick.
Yeah.
Fucking thing just swooped in and took his fucking soul out.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even get a chance to fight back.
I can't know, because I was gonna say when they killed the Nether dragon, whatever. Did it give its souls back? But I don't think it did.
I don't think it did. I think once you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, who knows? This new phase. I don't see them bringing Death Dealer back, though.
No, he was pretty small rolled in this one.
Yeah, which sucks, but it's whatever. It's the MCU. Feige's gonna make it up somehow.
So, I don't know.
So overall, if you've made it this far, what would you rank out of, let's do a 1 out of 10. 0 out of 10, because technically you could have zeros.
Jesus.
Yeah. Where would you rank this? And actually thinking back to our tiers, you got S, A, B, C, and F.
I say it's a high A. It's not an S rank.
Okay.
It's definitely a high A.
So it's not Avengers.
It's not Avengers.
Okay.
I do like the way that they, like, okay, first off, shout outs to Jackie Chan's stunt team, because they did the stunts and the choreography on this movie.
Oh, good shit.
So another callback to the Chinese culture. Like, they did everything they could a la Black Panther to make sure that they were making this an authentic movie for the culture.
Yeah.
So
it's representation right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So high A.
Yeah, high A.
So would you say in the 9s or like a high 8?
Most definitely, and that's just me with my personal vendetta about the 10 Rings. Now I got to pick something out of it, because it's still the Mandarin, even though it wasn't really the Mandarin. And it wasn't really the Mandarin, but it's still the Mandarin. So, still the 10 Rings. They still need to bring those to fruition, which I'm pretty sure they're going to. Which, I mean, god dang it, I don't think he does, because I don't think he does in the comics, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Sean doesn't turn into the Mandarin, so.
And then he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Looks like his sister's trying to turn it to the Mandarin.
Yeah, I don't know what she's doing.
Stick around for the credits, folks.
I don't know what she's doing.
100% stick around for the credits. I think she's going to run up against, what's her face from Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think she's trying to pull one of those. Criminal Enterprise opens up, and she's just taking advantage. Not Peggy.
The Power
Broker.
Power Broker, yeah.
Power Broker.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those situations.
Yeah. See, my thing. Okay, so my other thing, the reason why it can't be an S rank, is because I know the stories kind of sit parallel to each other, but they should have had some sort of a jab in there about Iron Fist, because the two stories of Sean and Iron Fist, they kind of go parallel.
Do they?
In the way that their stories are portrayed, because with Danny and Kung Lung, the Eternal Protector gets his powers from the dragon, and he has to protect the city. That's his.
Okay.
In terms of the reason that the Iron Fist exists.
Oh, is this the same dragon though?
No.
Okay, all right. That'd be kind of cool.
So that's why I was kind of joking to Kurt at the end of the movie. I was like, "Oh, hey, were you expecting Kung Lung?" But then also as well too, the 10 rings and the God, what the heck is the I can't remember what the ninja association that Iron Fist is fighting. It's the same parallel as that as well too.
Okay.
So there's a lot of shared thoughts between the two.
Just a very Marvel-esque thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this isn't a white dude?
Yeah.
Let's put him with the other Asian guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought they would have at least like made a jab at it on that aspect of it and said, oh no, this isn't Kung Lun or something in that aspects.
I mean, they are on opposite sides of the country.
Yeah.
Well,
in terms of the two mythical places, nobody knows where they actually are because you have to take a doorway to get there.
Oh, no. I was saying with Shang-Chi in San Francisco and Iron Fist in New York.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. They're far apart enough from each other that they wouldn't know each other now. But I mean, but who knows what they do with Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Because we'll see if that gets rebooted.
Well, like if it would have been cool if like his dad was going, on his little craziness, and he was like, oh hey, I heard, in terms of my wife being behind this door and there's a secret path, sort of like a secret path at a different place. That would have been
just a little
hint at it. Would have been cool.
Yeah, I could see that being cool. That would have flown right over my head. I didn't watch any of that on Netflix.
But there was one last point I wanted to make. But go ahead.
So I would agree with the high A. I would be willing to put it into an S. Once we get a few more of the movies from this phase put out there, I want to compare it to the phase.
Okay.
I want to see if they're going in a new direction or if this is just a one-off sort of thing. I expect Spider-Man to follow the Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I expect those to be the known, established MCU type movie. Everything else, I want to see if it changes. I want to see if there's a difference in presentation on any of these, and I really hope there is.
So, I don't think Spider-Man's going to use that same formula just because of what's going on.
Okay.
It's too much.
You think that they'll fold Spider-Man into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Which would be fair.
Yeah.
So
would be Guardians.
Thor, I think, is going to continue on with the same style. What they established in the last Thor, I think they're going to continue with the new one.
The buddy comedy thing?
Basically.
I don't think so. Not with that storyline.
You think they're going to make it serious?
Yeah, they have to. That storyline is serious. There's a reason why Jane gets the hammer.
Oh. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair. So yeah, I would say high A for now. Once everything starts to flesh itself out, it may go up. It may go down. It's a fantastic movie, but the MCU has been pumping out fantastic movies.
Okay. No, I hear you on that. If we're going straight Phase 4, movie wise, Phase 4, because we can't go show wise. Because show wise, it wouldn't be an S in my opinion. If we went shows and movies, it wouldn't be an S.
I agree. Yeah, because Wanda and Loki are very hard to follow.
If we do just straight movie wise Phase 4, right now, it is setting the bar and it's setting it high, so it would be an S.
Yeah.
If we're going all encompassing MCU, then that's where it's sitting at that high A.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay.
I'd agree with that. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for what happens with it. I'm excited to see where they go with it. Good movie, but high A. We'll see how it fits in.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they can continue the momentum, because it sounds like, I want to say it took the box office weekend record.
It did.
Yeah.
It did for that holiday weekend. It took the record.
Yeah. So it did really well, and it's not going to be in theaters for long.
No, because let's think about it too. It took the record in the pandemic situation as well too.
Yes.
So it could have blown that record out if there wasn't a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, my mind immediately runs to the if pandemic never happened, if this was just normal 2021, I don't know, man. Who knows? Because there was a while there where it sounded like people were starting to get burnt out on MCU, and now I think people are begging for something to take their mind off of the world.
Yeah,
right
I think a lot of people were getting burnt out on it just because of the way that it was just formulated.
Yeah.
Hey, we can bring up a hero, put him in the same formula, and that movie's gonna work because our formula is tried and true.
And it was consistent. It was a blockbuster during the summer, a blockbuster during Christmas, a blockbuster during summer, blockbuster. So it got formulaic.
Yeah, but now, ever since, and it's kind of, and I know you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you should. There's that moment in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where Hydra comes out of the background because they did the tie-in with Captain America.
Yeah.
Where because that show was S.H.I.E.L.D. basically, so it basically just turned it and flipped it. And that's the moment where that show turned from great to outstanding.
Okay.
And I feel like that's what's happening with the MCU, with the moment of it turning when, first off, the snap, that was kind of like the side turn. That was like the, hey, I'm going to look over my shoulder kind of thing. Like, oh, what's back there?
Yeah.
And then now with the whole multiverse, that's the full turnaround. We're about to flip this right over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got Zack Snyder going over here, and he's bringing out some great hits, but DC doesn't know how to use them. Nah.
No.
We're going to really show you what we can do.
Marvel and Disney, and I would not doubt if this was a Disney influence. I mean, because if Disney's going to fucking do something, they're going to... Okay, with the exception of the live-action remakes, because I haven't seen it, but Mulan, I've been told, is trash. Lion King is trash. I don't want to see Cruella, but apparently it's on HBO Max now, so I'm going to... Disney Plus, apparently it's going to be playing in my house.
Yeah. Jen watched it, I napped.
Yeah, I'll be up here playing GTA. Yeah, with the exception of a few things, at this point, in my opinion, is if Disney's gonna fucking do something, they're gonna do it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And Marvel has such a breadth of content, and so many people that are obsessed with it, that we are in that phase. And we've said this a few times on a few episodes. We're in that part now where we're just doing cool shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still waiting to hear the news of X-Men getting pulled into it.
And so think of it that way too. We are already on the cusp of some outstanding stuff coming, and we still haven't fully pulled in Fantastic Four, X-Men, Blade's coming back, but he's not going to be in until like later on. So
Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
There's just the X-Men version of it, because it's fuck, and you could write it off as the X-Men are in a different universe. They're in a different verse right now. So the reason why we haven't heard of Professor X is because this universe wouldn't know about Professor X.
Yeah,
because Professor X doesn't exist in this universe.
So there's two ways that they can go about this. So either, yes, they can do multiverse, and then they can give Hugh Grant his just desserts and his send-off, and say, hey, we're going to bring you back in for...
Hugh Grant?
I'm sorry, not Hugh Grant. Wow.
Like, that took me a second. Hugh Grant, I was like, what are they going to cast him as Professor X? Like,
ooh, Jesus. Sorry, excuse me. We're going to send Wolverine off. Wow, Hugh Grant.
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman.
There we go.
The other Hugh. With great hair, apparently.
The man who remembers all of his ex-students.
Yeah. So, send him off, give him a 15-minute, send off if they need to or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because he carried that franchise. Yeah. Apparently now he's all trying to get into Deadpool 3.
As he should.
So either way, put him in Deadpool 3 or do what you need to do to bring the X-Men in and give him his send-off. Or they can do it the other way and say because the Infinity Stones were destroyed, that's what's created mutants. Because that's another storyline that they've done in terms of saying how mutants were created. They were created by the Infinity Stones being destroyed.
Yeah.
Or and I guess we're going to go into 3 ways. The Eternals are going to be the ones that, oh, hey, this is what I've been playing with. I created this over here.
Yeah. And it's just, in that, the X-Men universe in itself opens up so many possibilities. Because you have Phoenix and Dark Phoenix. Mm-hmm. You've got Apocalypse. Yep. You've got the Horsemen. You've got, I almost said Galactus. It's not Galactus. You've got fucking, it's a Fantastic Four tie-in, but you've got Reed's son.
Yeah.
You've got the Watchers, which apparently they showed up in one of the What If episodes. I haven't seen them yet, but I guess there was a spoiler that there's an image going around Reddit right now that is the Watchers outline in the galaxy. Mm-hmm. And I guess that showed up in one of the What If episodes.
I mean, the narrator is the Watcher. Is one of a Watcher. Is a Watcher.
And there you go.
So,
and Doctor Doom. I know we're gonna Doom movie, but motherfucking Doctor Doom.
So, and I just talked myself into this. Apparently, if they are doing Spider-Verse,
yeah.
And the Eternals come out before Spider-Verse, they could introduce mutants that way so that we have the mutated Spider-Man in the Spider-Man movie as well, too.
Yeah. I mean, and if the Eternals are coming from space, now I haven't seen Venom, so I don't know. Mm. But if the Eternals, I'm assuming they're coming from space. I also know very little about the Eternals. If they're aliens, that could also explain the symbiotes.
Mm. Yeah.
If they're bringing them with them.
There's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack, and
just want Figgy to get his hands on Carnage.
And time is yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this more
at another date.
We
did not plan on going this long on this specific topic, but we did, and we thank you for sticking around with us.
Yes.
So I guess we're gonna call it for Jay Spoon. I am the fat fella himself.
We out of here.
This is the Arena of Audacity. Yeah.